It's very simple. Will she be given a bonus in 2020?
It's not my decision whether I get a bonus or not.
When Catherine Tait, the president of the CBC, testified before the House of Commons Heritage Committee this week, she let go two clangers that have to be answered. Now, Tait is probably the most arrogant, detached, aloof, smug bureaucrat in the federal government. She's the Marie Antoinette of the federal government. She said, first of all, that the CBC doesn't pay bonuses. Now, this is an issue because the CBC is laying off hundreds of employees at a time when it's paying executives big bonuses. It's caused a lot of dissension among the CBC rank and file. I think the layoffs are a good thing. I think they're long overdue. I think the CBC is just a bloated bureaucracy of a network. So I don't disagree with the layoffs, but I do disagree with the bonuses. But Tait says, no. Don't worry. They're not bonuses. They're performance pay. That's what she told the House of Commons Heritage Committee. They're performance pay.
For the record, CBC Radio-Canada does not award so-called bonuses. What we have, like every other Crown corporation, is at-risk or performance pay, which is a key part of the total compensation of our non-union staff.
Isn't that what your salary is? You get paid for performing your duties? And anything you get above that is a bonus? Of course, that's exactly how it works. But she was trying to convince Canadians and MPs that no, there is regular pay, and then if you perform your tasks, you get extra. That's ridiculous. She gets up to about $500,000 a year in regular salary and $100,000 in what she calls performance pay. She gets a $100,000 bonus and $500,000 salary. It's obscene for what she does. The other clangor, though, that Tait let go was that the CBC is the last best defense Canada has against disinformation. Now, anyone who has watched the CBC or listened to the CBC and knows its biases realizes that the CBC is one of the biggest purveyors, one of the biggest broadcasters of misinformation in the country. But let's say for a minute that they were dispassionate. They were unbiased. They were objective rather than subjective. They didn't, as soon as an election was called, circle all their wagons around Justin Trudeau and defend him from all the attacks by his opponent. Let's say they were, as they say they are, a completely unbiased representative of news in Canada. They still can't be the country's best defense against disinformation because fewer than 5% of Canadian adults ever watch or listen to the CBC. 95% of Canadians pay no attention to the CBC. That's one of the reasons why the $1.3 billion of tax money every year that goes to the CBC is so offensive to me.
Actually, the viewership of the CBC is cut in half since you took leadership in 2018. It's come down by half. So it's interesting to me that you're giving bonuses or performance awards when, in fact, the CBC is performing the poorest it's ever performed.
There's a small elite group, mostly aligned with the Liberal Party and the public sector, that listen devotedly to the CBC. The rest of us pay no attention to them. And as the number of streaming services and channels expands, fewer and fewer and fewer people listen all the time. The last time I looked at the ratings for The National, the CBC's flagship nightly newscast, it was getting 450,000 people in it. That's it. In a country of 41 million people, 450,000, roughly 1%, are watching the CBC. The CBC should be defunded, but before it gets defunded, Catherine Tait should be sent on her way. She is exactly what's wrong with the elite attitude in Canada. For Post Media, I'm Lorne Gunter.